All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are going to be jumping into Unit 4, Lesson 3. I can solve equations using the distributive property. As a recall, the distributive property looks something like this, where we distribute the number outside the parentheses evenly to the numbers inside the parentheses using multiplication. So 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 2 is 4. And we're going to use that concept to solve problems that look similar to that. Let's get going here. First example here, we're going to use two different ways to solve these problems. We're going to use distribution, and we're also going to use division, just to kind of show a quick way to solve these problems. We have the problem 3 times x plus 5 equals 45. We're going to use distribution to hand out evenly our number outside the parentheses. So we end up with 3x. And I said before, we're always going to put a plus sign in the middle there. 3 times 5. And that's going to still equal 45. And we want to simplify. We got 3x plus 3 times 5 is 15. And that equals 45. Now we are using a two-step equation, multi-step equation, to solve the equation here. Gamma is like our PEMDAS, but we're using grouping, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And to solve these, we are working backwards. The way I like to say it is it's kind of like Jeopardy. In real life, we're given questions and we find answers. In Jeopardy, you given the answers and you find the questions. So you have to work backwards because you're given things in reverse order. So instead of starting with grouping, we're going to start with addition and subtraction. And where do we see that in this problem? Well, we see plus 15. So we do the opposite of plus 15, which is minus 15. Drop our 3x straight down. That's inverse property of addition equals 0. And 45 minus 15 is 30. Okay, now we look at multiplication and division. So multiplication here, we divide by 3. And 30 divided by 3 is 10. And you're done. That is your distribution. Okay, let's look at this as a division, solve it as a division problem. So instead of distributing that 3 through the parentheses, we are going to take that 3 and instead we are going to do the opposite of multiplication and divide this whole side by 3 and that whole side by 3. We do that, those cancel out. We're left with x plus 5, and that's going to equal 45 divided by 3, which is 15. When we do that, now we have a one-step equation. We're going to do the opposite of plus 5, which is minus 5. We do that to both sides. We're left with x, inverse property. 15 minus 5 is 10. As you notice, same answer. Okay, obviously fewer steps, fewer places to make mistakes. Big key here is you want to start by dividing the number to the right of the equal sign by the number outside the parenthesis. We're dividing 45 divided by 3. Hopefully that gives you a whole number. If it gives you a whole number, we're going to use division. If it doesn't, you got to decide which way is going to be easier for you. Let's look at another example here. Same thing, we're going to use distribution first, and then we're going to use division to compare the two. Okay, we have 5 times n and 5 times negative 2. 5 times n is just 5n, and I've said before, we're always going to put that plus sign in there, and we're going to do 5 times negative 2. That negative is going to go to the 2. Let's simplify. 5n plus 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And simplify one step more. Let's get rid of the double sign and just make it minus 10. Using our multi-step equation skills, opposite of a negative 10 is a positive 10. Inverse property equals 0. 5n equals negative 30 plus 10 is negative 20. Then our last step, divide by 5, divide by 5. Inverse property of multiplication, we get n equals negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. You're done. Lots of steps. It works. Using distribution, handing out that 5 to everything, all the terms inside the parenthesis. Let's check division. Like I said, we're going to see if we can get a whole number by dividing the number to the right of the equal sign by that number. So we're going to do negative 30 divided by 5. And if you do negative 30 divided by 5, you're going to get negative 6, which is a whole number. So let's do that. Let's use a different color. Divide by 5 and divide by 5. Notice we are dividing this entire side by 5, not just one number. Inverse property, we're left with n minus 2 equals negative 30 divided by 5, we said is negative 6. And again, that's just a one-step equation now. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and we're going to get n equals negative 4, which, same answer. Yes, we get the same answer, but preferably I would do this side. A lot less steps, less places to make mistakes. Okay, that's part 1. That's me explaining it to you. Next video you're going to watch, you're going to try to do it along with me. Please come on back, check part 2 of the video. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.